like an industrial-y area to go and meet with a guy called Imam Hadi. I first saw him at the Al-Quds rally, which was on the Friday of the 23rd, if memory serves. And he had a really peaceful speech. I think the most peaceful speech there. And so I said, you know what? I think you are a great guy to introduce people to Islam itself. So hopefully he'll agree to be the first video on my channel. He's got a really cute little mosque. You can see that parking is insane though. Like, people are just parked everywhere. Poor little parking lots, not near big enough. It's Friday at 2:38 p.m. My appointment is for 2:45, but this is around the conclusion of Friday prayers. Muslims consider Friday kind of like Sunday, right? And right now they're in the middle of their prayer time. It's a sermon called the Khutbah, which just means sermon. It's like Arabic word for sermon. So we'll see what's inside here. It's a really cute little building. I really like it. Hey! I'm not wearing the fur hat anymore, but I'm not wearing the fur hat anymore.
I know, I don't think you can tolerate it now.
I couldn't, yeah. Here, I'm gonna turn this off just to respect people's privacy. And we are live. We've got Imam Hadi here, right? He's just given the Friday sermon. And now I'm going to be taking up a bunch of his time, and he's hopefully going to explain Islam to everybody here. All right.
First of all, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the most merciful, the most gracious. You are welcome here.
Thank you.
And it's a privilege for us, in fact, to have you at our mosque. We are very thankful for your time. We are in the main hall, where we offer salah, and this building is for multi-purpose. This is not only for salah.
What is salah?
Salah means prayers,
Okay.
daily prayers, 5 times that Muslims perform. These are altogether 17 units, 2 in the morning before sunrise, and 4 at the noon time, and 4 slightly afternoon time, and 3 at the dusk time when sun sets, immediately after that, and then 4 units of prayers we perform slightly after that. So altogether these are 17 units of prayers we perform in 5 times, and there is a provision that we can perform these 5 prayers into 3. 1 in the morning, and 2 prayers at noon time, and 2 prayers after sunset.
Oh, that's convenient.
We usually perform in this way. Yeah.
I noticed that your floors are pointing in a different direction than the rest of the building. Can you explain that?
In order to pray, definitely these 5 prayers, there are 2 types of prayers. One is prescribed prayers that I explained, 5 daily prayers. And the other type of prayer is individual prayer. For example, you are in distress, you lost your job, you are sick, or for any other personal or your friends or your community's needs, you pray by your own. So that is individual prayer. And you can pray at any time. God is 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay, 24/7.
Yeah.
Available for all of us.
Yeah.
But when we are praying prescribed prayers, we must face toward the direction of Mecca.
So what's Mecca?
Mecca is in Saudi Arabia, in fact the birthplace of Islam. We believe Islam in fact was created since Adam was created. Islam literally means submission, surrendering ourselves to the will of God. And that's why Quran says, Inna deena indallahi al-Islam. God sent no other religion but Islam. So that but Islam does not refer to this Islam that we are following as Muslims. that but Islam refers to submission to the will of God. So throughout the human races, God sent many messengers, many prophets who came with the almost same or similar messages. Fundamentals, principles, core teachings were the same. That is worshipping God, not associating anyone with Him, and serving human beings. In 2 sentences. This is the summary of religion. Okay. So all the messengers, all the prophets came with these fundamental tenets and principles. However, how to achieve these fundamentals, how to achieve these goals, serving God and serving human beings, that differed from time to time based on the needs and requirements of human beings. So if you ask me to give an example, I could give the example, for example, Windows. Windows, when it emerged in the very beginning, and now Windows 10, the latest model of Windows, and as announced, the final Windows. If you look at the cores and fundamentals, principles, they are the same. All the versions are the same in terms of principles, but in terms of details and what they offer through those details, definitely they are updated versions. Okay, so in the same way we believe God sent messengers different with different methodologies, with different ideologies throughout the human race. For example, when God sent Noah, He gave him some instructions. So those instructions, they were valid for that time to reach that goal, serving God and serving human being. And then when Abraham came, he brought an updated version of the same core teachings. And then when Moses came, he brought another updated version which was suitable to his time. Then when Jesus came, he brought another version. But that all were same in principles, but they were different in details. And when Prophet Muhammad came, he brought another version of the same religion. So this is in fact how we believe that all the religions are interlinked with each other. They are not independent, they are connected with each other, and they should be looked from this perspective, that they are in fact upgrades.
So does the Quran confirm past texts, or does it say that they're all lies? Would you say...
No, of course Quran does not disapprove the previous text. In fact, one of the purposes as mentioned by Quran for Prophet Muhammad was to approve the previous texts. So for example, Torah and Injil. Torah means Torah, you know, Old Testament, and Torah when used in Quran does not refer to only the book of laws. Okay, but whenever Torah is used in the Quran, it refers to the Old Testament. Okay? And whenever Quran talks about Injil, Injil refers to the New Testament, which was given to Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. So definitely Quran does approve those books, but Quran does say those books were valid for their times. But in this time and age, Quran is the valid book of God. And those books, they were valid for their times, so God kept them free from distortion, free from any kind of manipulation. But later on, as those books were no longer in need, because an updated version, as I mentioned in the beginning, was revealed by God in the form of Quran. So those books came into contact of human manipulation, and people added something in those books. As it is confirmed by, in fact, the people who believe in Old Testament and the people who believe in New Testament. They themselves confirm that there has been some manipulation, some distortion in those books.
But the Quran has not been distorted.
We believe as Muslims, definitely Quran has not been distorted. And the reason is because this is the latest version of the book of God, and God is responsible to protect this.
Okay.
But definitely whatever is included in current Old Testament and New Testament, there are many good teachings and we revere them, we respect them. Anything which does not conflict our human intellect or does not contradict with the teachings of Quran, all are valid for Muslims, and we can take them for our even practical lives, for our moral lives. We are not restricted to Quran. Quran says, "La nufarriqu bayna ahadin minhum." All those who came from God, all those who were sent by God as prophets, as messengers, they all talked about one reality, one truth, that is God. And they all brought same or similar messages. Hence, all should be revered, all should be respected. And this is the responsibility of us as Muslims to uphold all of them so highly and exemplary for our practical lives. We don't only learn from Prophet Muhammad, we learn from Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. We also learn from Moses, peace be upon him. We also learn from David, from Solomon, from John the Baptist. All these messengers, biblical messengers, they are the messenger of Quran as well. So whenever we find something from them, if it is proven that they have spoken those words are valid for us as well.
All right. Maybe can you take me on a little tour of the artwork that you've got on the walls here and explain what they mean?
As I was talking to you,
oh yes,
these prayer mats, they are facing the direction of Mecca. This is not because we believe God is confined in Mecca. We believe God is everywhere. Okay, so you may ask this question, then why you Muslims face toward Mecca when you pray? The simple answer to this question is it is for unity. Because if you enter a mosque and one person is praying in east direction and the other one is praying in west and the third one is praying in south,
chaos.
It will be a chaos. Yeah. So to avoid that and to bring in fact a kind of universal unity, uniformity with the Muslim society, this system has been introduced. And you also may have noticed that when we pray, in fact, our personal prayers, we are allowed to pray in our local languages, in our mother tongue. For example, in Urdu, in Hindi, in English, or in whatsoever languages. When you are praying for your personal reasons, but when you are praying prescribed 5 daily prayers, then you must pray in Arabic language. If you pray in any other language, that is not accepted. Why?
So,
does God doesn't understand any other language? No. Again, it is for the purpose of unity. So for instance, let me give you an example. If I'm the follower of any other religion which allows prayers, services can be conducted in any language, then if I am in that locality, in that region, the language I speak, I can join the churches, I can join the temples. But if I'm in another region where the services are offered in any other language, then definitely I'll be deprived.
Yeah.
But if I'm a Muslim, okay, I don't fear. If I travel to Japan, to China, to India, to whatever country, it doesn't matter which language is dominant language in that country, I just Google mosque. And whenever I find a mosque, I can easily, with full confidence, join that mosque because I'm 100% sure that the services are going to be offered in one unified language, that is Arabic language, traditional Arabic language, and I can easily be connected with the community and I can easily be enjoying the services offered over there. So this is the advantage of keeping the prayers, prescribed prayers, in one unified language, that is Arabic.
Gives a sense of community.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great.
Yeah, so you know, these distinguished areas which you are seeing, they are just for organizing the road. So this means that one person is standing here and the next person is standing here, next person is standing. And people, when they are standing in rows, they should stand so close that their shoulders should be touching each other's shoulders. Again, it is for harmony and for love and affection among the congregations.
Yeah, that sense of community.
Yeah, it's also the sense of community. So this place that you are seeing, it is called Hussaini Association of Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
And Hussaini Association of Calgary is the oldest Shia center in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
And this was established in 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely there were very few people at that time, but now the community size has grown significantly, and this place is really small for us, despite different other cultures, cultural centers and religious centers. This place, as it is the oldest center, it still has got the central feature.
Well, that's
and
great.
People from all walks, from all communities, all countries, they rush to this place for their Friday prayer. We do not offer Friday prayers in different centers. We as Shia Muslims, we can offer Friday prayers only in one place in the 5.5 kilometers radius.
Oh.
Yeah. So it is again for the sense of community, to bring all the people who are living in that locality, 5.5 kilometers radius, together in one place.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you get quite a lot of people in here.
Yeah, we
which
get,
you did.
On Friday, definitely we get around 200 people.
And is the mosque open every day? You just only give a sermon on Friday then?
No, because this mosque is situated in southeast, as you have seen, in industrial area, and people of our community, those who come to this mosque for prayer, for prayers, they usually live in other parts of Calgary, north, east, south, west, and of course northwest.
Yeah.
There are very few people living in the vicinity of this place, so offering prayers every day is not practical.
Yeah.
But we do offer on Sunday, Sunday noontime, we offer services, and before that we offer in fact madrasa. Madrasa means educational center for our youth and for our young children. That is very similar to Sunday school, run by our Christian brothers churches. And then we offer services here on Thursday night, Thursday evening. There we offer in fact evening prayers, Maghrib and Isha. And then we, on regular basis, we are open on Friday, definitely, of course, on Friday for Friday prayer. But there are many occasions throughout the years, probably more than 100 occasions, anniversaries of death, birth, anniversaries of big events, occasions in Islamic history. So altogether, in the month of Ramadan, definitely the whole month of Ramadan, we offer here prayers and services and everything. So the center is open, I believe, no less than 200 days in a year.
Yeah, all right. Can you explain maybe the significance of Ramadan then?
Ramadan definitely is one of the practices of Islam. Ramadan marks the fasting month for Muslims. Okay, and for whole month, for 30 days, all the Muslims, they are definitely not all the Muslims, include children and sick people or elderly people, those who can afford. Generally it is from 15 years. When the kids are 15 years, they start fasting if they are healthy. So those who can afford, they should be fasting from dawn to dusk. That is in this year, which was in fact June and July. We usually started our fasting from 3 a.m. And we continued all the way till 10:15.
So that must suck. like there's only 5 hours in between there.
Yeah, there is only 5 hours in between them, but you know, human beings, they are unknown creatures. So you have so much strength within you.
That's true.
If you explore yourself.
That's true.
Yeah. So this is the secret that we all very easily completed our 30 days observance of the month of Ramadan, even though the days were very long and also hot. But if you have willpower to do something, to achieve something, nothing can stop you.
Yeah, yeah. The human body takes 3 weeks before it dies of starvation, although it does get really grumpy after, you know, the third week.
But definitely this fasting does not make us grumpy.
Yeah.
It does change us, but for the better.
Yeah.
It gives us confidence, it improves our willpower, and it helps us to realize those people, underprivileged people who suffer hunger and thirst on daily basis, not only for 1 month. It does allow us to experience their sufferings, and when you experience something, then you are more encouraged to change the status quo, to help them.
Yeah.
And definitely, above all, the purpose of fasting is to allow us to experience the love of God within us. When you are fasting, your refrigerators are full with food and with delicious cookies or whatsoever. But and there is nothing which can stop you from enjoying your day, your delicious meal. But you are controlling yourself for what? This is how we exert our love of God, how we approve our love of God. Oh God, we are ready to fulfill your command, to experience hunger and thirst, even though we do have all the means to enjoy.
Yeah. All right.
That takes us closer to God.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the big chair over there called?
That is not the big chair, that is called pulpit. That is
the pulpit.
Yeah, we call it mimbar, and that is called pulpit.
Yeah.
And that is used for delivering the sermons.
Yeah. So you'll sit there and
anyone who comes here to speak to people, they sit on that. Usually, that individual should be qualified to talk about religion. So that individual sits over there and delivers the sermon, and people in our mosque, we don't have chairs. We do have some chairs for those who cannot sit on the floor, but usually we sit on the floor because our prayers involve different movements. Unlike our Christian brothers or Jewish brothers, they sit on chairs in their synagogues and in their churches, because the prayers does not require different movements. Either they pray in sitting situation or in standing condition, but our prayers does require kneeling down and prostrating and all these movements. So for all these movements, definitely we cannot have chairs. Chairs will hinder us, but there are some chairs. Those people who cannot prostrate, definitely there is the provision that they can offer the prayers while they are sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that you got the thing from the rally that happened the day after yours.
Yes.
This is the one I put on.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah. It's I'm glad that made it to a mosque.
Yeah,
that's amazing. All right.
We are open here for schools, for colleges, or for any groups from churches, from synagogues. We host congregations here from different communities. We are not restricted to only Muslims or the Shia Muslims. But for example, if you have friends and you want to come here to learn about Islam in a group of 10 people, 20 people, we'll host your group and we'll provide a lecture, question answer, and also refreshments. So we are open to all.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I don't think I've actually said the name of your association. What is the name of your association?
The name of the Hussaini Association of Calgary. Hussaini Association of Calgary. This is for Shia Muslims, but definitely the founders and those who attend regularly, these are Shia Muslims, but we are open to all.
So
throughout the year, we do host many other communities, congregations, groups here at our mosque who come here to learn about us, to learn about Islam.
All right. So Hussaini refers to Hussein. Who was Hussein?
Yeah, Hussein, in fact, was the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, who loved him so dearly that he always called him that he is my own son, even though he was grandson. And he lived, in fact, a life which is exemplary for all of us, and particularly after the messenger of, or after Prophet Muhammad passed away, just 50 years later, Muslim community, unfortunately, it was on the verge of deviation and corruption. A ruler called Yazid, he rose to he rose to throne, and he was extremely culprit, wrongdoer, tyrant, like all these dictators of our time. Middle Eastern world, you can see many Muslims who are in fact dictators, but they call them Muslim leaders such as Gaddafi and many others. So he called himself Amir al-Mu'mineen, the commander-in-chief of the Muslims. And surprisingly, the community got so corrupt. In English they say you deserve the lead, you get the leader that you deserve. So in fact, the Muslim community itself was corrupted. Okay, so and because of their corruption, such a corrupt and culprit and tyrant individual manages to rise to throne. So he was in fact defying everything and violating the rules and killing innocent people in the name.
This is Yazid.
Yazid. Yeah, killing innocent people in the name of Yazid. And he was just a merry-making person. He was not concerned about people or their sufferings. He was just indulged fully in his own life and merry-making businesses. So Hussein, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, he stood up against him and he said, "I'm not letting you to violate the religion of my grandfather, the religion of God, of course." And even though Hussein and his family members, 72 family members, including his own sons and brothers, and including a 6-month infant baby, they all got brutally killed by the army of Yazid in the plains of Karbala, which is in Iraq. But Hussein, by offering his life for the sake of God, for the sake of religion, managed to awaken the Muslim community. And he distinguished between what was the false and corrupted version of Islam and what was the right and genuine version of Islam.
So that doesn't go as deep as the Quran, though. You said that the Quran had never been corrupted. Do the Sunnis and the Shias believe in the same Quran?
That you raised. Quran has not been corrupted in its texts, but texts is something, an explanation and interpretation of text is something else. So when we say Quran is not corrupted, Quran is not distorted, we mean in physical sense its texts are intact. But when we say Islam got corrupted, we mean the interpretation of the Quranic verses. And this is the root cause of all these problems Muslim world is suffering from. Quran is the same. Sunni, Shia, all these people, all these parties, all these groups which are following Islam and fighting with each other, conflicting with each other, they've got the same book without any distortion, without any change. But when it comes the interpretation, what big difference.
It's definitely a huge difference between, like, say, here in Calgary and, shall I say, Eastern Syria. There's a wide degree of different interpretations.
For example, these extremists or terrorists who kill innocent people, they also rely on interpretations of Quran. They say these are Quranic verses, for example, talk about jihad. So their interpretation of those verses are to kill every human being. But when we look into them, we say no, these verses are not talking about killing human being. This is in contradiction of the contradiction of the core teaching of Islam or any other religion. These verses should be interpreted in light with the other verses contexts, not only textual context but also time frame in which they were revealed. So for example, the verses of jihad, they were revealed during the time of Prophet Muhammad to deal with those situations when Islam was under attack. Prophet Muhammad and his family members, they were brutally being killed by his opponents. So God revealed some verses to fight back. Those verses of jihad, they were revealed in order to allow Prophet Muhammad and his supporters to defend themselves. That's it. But you cannot apply those verses in this day and age and start killing people or doing atrocities to the innocent.
Yeah, well, it was 1438 years ago, so you know, I don't think even the concept of the nation was even established yet. The Arabian Peninsula was a bunch of city-states.
No.
Was it not?
The concept of nation was fully established.
Yeah.
When Prophet Muhammad established his government
in Arabia.
In Arabia, Prophet Muhammad established a very vast government, which included.
He did, yes. He established the Rashidun Caliphate.
He in fact talked to different communities such as Jewish community, Christian communities, and other tribes, and brought them under one government, one unified government, and he named that nation Ummah. So that's why the concept of Ummah is very dominant within Muslim world. And then God revealed a verse, Inna hadi ummatukum ummatan wahida. This is one nation, and this nation of yours is approved by me. I'm the Lord of this nation. And in that nation, not only Muslims were included, Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians, Jews, any human being living in that environment, they all were included. So definitely the concept of nation was over there.
Yeah. So we've started talking about the Prophet. Can you give me a high gloss overview of his life?
Prophet Muhammad, in fact, he, as I mentioned in the beginning, he was not a new individual, a fresh individual, and who we can say he brought an independent religion. Prophet Muhammad was the continuation of all the prophets of God. Those were sent by God throughout the human history to help human beings to come to their senses and to live a life of piety with love and with respect of each other. This is the purpose of the prophets. Prophets are not here to teach us what is good and bad. What is good and bad is already instilled within you by God before we were created. This is a verse from Quran which says that God does not create human being like blank paper. They come with solid knowledge and solid recognition of what is wrong and what is right. And those are called those teachings that God has given us before our creation are called humanitarian values. We have a very common word, humanitarian values.
And that's one of the 5 pillars of Islam.
That every human being understands. Every human being recognizes lying is sin. And speaking truth is always good. Every human being recognizes that justice is good, injustice is bad. So who has taught us? Do we need any teacher for this to tell us justice is good and injustice is
it's inside us all.
We don't need it. It is within us. And there are many values which are called humanitarian values. So in fact, all these things are within us, but God sent prophets. But what happens when we come in this world, there are conflicting interests and race for worldly gains and affairs and all this stuff. So in those races and in those conflicts, we are more prone to be forgetting those godly values which are inbuilt within us. So God sent prophets throughout the time to remind us of our godly values and bring us back on the track. So Prophet Muhammad was not an isolated, independent prophet. He was the continuation of the same mission, and he lived, in fact, in 16th century. 570 or 575 he was born, and definitely he probably, I'm wrong about the English date, because we usually, when we talk about Prophet Muhammad, we talk Islamic dates.
Yeah.
About Islamic dates. So
Yeah.
anyway, he was very successful in the beginning. Definitely, when he started his mission, like many other prophets, such as Moses, such as Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, he was rejected by the tyrants, business tycoons, and those who were in power, because his mission was threatening their worldly gains. They were feeding themselves. They were devouring, in fact, at the cost of the vulnerable and underprivileged people. Okay. So Prophet Muhammad started his mission, and he talked about equality, justice, and peace, and all this stuff, which was very much in contradiction with their many beliefs. So they rejected him, and they tried their best to even kill him.
This is in Mecca?
Yeah, this is in Mecca. When he was in Mecca for 13 years, from the beginning of his mission, he lived in Mecca for 13 years, and eventually he could not stay there because of the vulnerable situation and dire condition of Mecca. They were getting more and more brutal. Eventually they forced him to migrate from Mecca to Medina. Exile him. You can use the word exile. So he migrated from Mecca to Medina. Medina was around 300 kilometers from Mecca.
And he didn't take a car.
Definitely, he walked or he rode on the back of the camels. Yeah. And over there he was welcomed in such a perfect way, which is in complete contradiction of the Meccans' behaviors and attitudes. And then eventually Meccans attacked him and his new city where he was living, and several skirmishes and several quite big wars took place. But God supported him, and eventually he was victorious, and he managed to change people's thoughts and minds, and revolutionize the whole Arabian Peninsula. And when people talk about, this is the last point because the person is waiting for us to
Sure.
When people talk about Prophet Muhammad's war affairs, they do injustice. They always talk that he participated in such and such war, in 80 wars, and how a prophet who talks about peace can be participating in all these wars. So point number one, he did not initiate any war. All the wars were imposed upon him by Meccans, his sword and bloodthirsty enemies. So he was in defending position. And number two, if you look at the numbers of war, you will be overwhelmed, up to 80. However, when we hear the word war, automatically our mindset goes to World War I, World War II.
Yeah,
And
not a
we think
light
that
skirmish on a little town.
Millions of people should have been killed. No, that was not the case. Most of those so-called wars were skirmishes, just small tribal fights. However, 5 or 7 of them were proper wars. But even in those wars, altogether, skirmishes, wars, if you look at the casualties from both sides are less than 1,000.
In all of them?
In all of them.
Oh, wow.
Both sides. So how?
Yeah.
80 wars, so-called 80 wars or skirmishes, but so less casualties.
Yeah.
It was because of the Prophet Muhammad's precautionary methods and strategies. He was so careful of people's lives that even though in all the wars he was victorious, but he strictly ordered his people before any war, those who are fleeing, you must not chase them. Those who are wounded, you must not attack them. Those who are elderly, you must not attack them. Those who are priests, you must not kill them. Women, children, all must be respected. So, in fact, the purpose of these wars was not to kill people, to revenge people. The purpose was to repel the devastating or gruesome dangers, okay, from the enemies. That's why he just defended, and once he managed to repel the threat, there was no need for killing. That's why the casualties is so little, despite so many wars.
All right. Maybe before we finish off, if people wanted to learn more, where would you recommend that they go?
There are many options nowadays. Online, definitely they can go. There are many websites. For example, a very good website is al-islam.org.
All right.
al-islam.org. It is a very good and comprehensive website which, with a lot of beautiful books about Islam. But definitely those who are in the very beginning of learning about Islam, or learning about Prophet Muhammad, learning about Quran or whatsoever, I would not recommend them to go online. Because online they could be intimidated with the information that they are seeing. The best option for them is to visit an imam or a reliable source who can speak to them about Islam, like you are.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. All right. Bye, everybody.